This is a Pod Dealers Network podcast.
Good news. I heard that Trump recently won his legal case and is getting his Twitter account reinstated. So the drought is over. Jokes are on deck. They're coming, folks.
What is TWS podcast, episode, whatever, who cares at this point?
Bar.
The rants of the vindicated.
It's my podcast and I do what I want to.
People, listen.
Word, is it still live?
It's not working for me, Rich. All right, we're going to keep going.
I know I changed my voice at work. Bars on the radio.
What is TWS podcast? Ready. I feel like the end. Staring at my watch and I'm feeling so new school. Suicide attempts, how many tries to take?
They ain't ready.
Mickey Fax was in the same room with Joey when he got punched in the eye. I blame it on the skinny jeans. I blame it on the skinny jeans because he couldn't react fast enough. Because his legs was all caught up in the skinny. I hate skinny jeans.
Yes, sir. Wise words from the man, Royce the 5'9". Welcome to another episode of the What is TWS podcast. As always, I'm your boy J. Flam, representing the White Pants Society. And I got to thank you for, lending me your ear, giving me a little bit of your time to talk through some stuff. We're going to have some fun today and just talk about nothing important, something that's so unimportant that it's hilarious. But I got a guest joining me again. I got my man Jay from Pod Dealers Network and Saturday Series. What's going on with you, Jay?
Hey, what's up, man? What's up?
Yeah. I thought I would start with that one. Because, maybe that lends something. Maybe that was the beginning of the beef. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I forget. Actually, that's one of my favorite skits or like interludes.
Oh, yeah. I love that
his
song.
legs being all caught up in skin.
The I Hate Your Pants song. It's one of my favorites. Yeah, everybody knows how I feel about Royce. So as we get into this discussion, I'm biased. Of course I am, but it is what it is. But anyway, checking in with you, Jay. How's everything going?
Everything is good, man. Like new developments here and there out in the world. I'm watching. I don't know if people have decided that coronavirus is over. Because now it's getting to the point to where I wear a mask out in the world, that people look at me as if I'm the one who is sick or will be sick, and I'm like, wait, y'all don't have a mask on. Just use it. But went on to. But outside of that, yeah, man, just really working on not going back to the office. It's just like realizing that the pandemic has brought out my full introvert superpowers. Yeah. So now the idea of being around rooms full of people make me not want to do that.
Yeah. People have no idea that this was like heaven for an introvert. We was not annoyed in the slightest at any point during the whole thing.
Nope.
And the fact that things are returning to whatever we want to call normal these days is like, fuck, damn.
Yeah.
This shit again?
For sure.
But
that's 100%.
I'm in the same boat with the mask. Like, I keep one on me, because I still ride public transportation, and it's required here in Texas on the buses that you wear a mask. And just in case, like when I get into an elevator and stuff, like, if I see somebody with a mask, I'm gonna throw my mask on too. I don't know. I guess I feel like a superhuman or something. I'm vaccinated, so I'm like, man, whatever. Like, but
right.
According to the new guidelines, I guess it's still not so much wearing the mask to protect yourself if you're vaccinated. It's that you can still carry the same viral load as somebody who is sick, and so you could still pass it on to others. So I'm trying to be a good human. Right. Yeah, that's hard to do these days. Like, the definition of a good human varies from person to person. Like,
yeah, no, it's super subjective.
Yeah,
it's like what is good?
Yeah.
Like, so like, yeah, that's kind of what it is for me too. Is like, but most of the time when things like this happen, I tend to be on the asymptomatic side. So that was why I got vaccinated, just to be like, I don't know if I whatever. If I got it and didn't know, we about to find out with these needles. So that was a whole thing. And then it was kind of one of those things too, because also both of us live in the South, or I live in Virginia. People debate if this is the true South or not, but nonetheless, this is Southern from where we're from. Yeah, and the white folks, I appreciate y'all, but y'all have decided to just we don't give a shit about masks. Yeah. So I don't know who's out here fully vaccinated or not, because I've seen a lot of the same white people just be like, nah.
I mean, these are the same people that wasn't washing their hands when they used the bathroom before all this started. So, Yeah. It's a jungle out there.
For sure.
Quick Chef Elise update.
Okay, what's going on?
I had her this weekend. We had a really good time. We went to the aquarium. We did some Chef Elise stuff. She made what she calls a Hawaiian smoothie tea party. Like, she's really getting dope with the garnishes and stuff on things. So she's in the table settings and stuff. So she put together, her version of something. And it was pretty cute, for a 5-year-old. I'm proud of her. The weird thing though is she's gotten into this ain't thing. I don't even know where she got ain't from, because I normally try to speak, the way I want my child to speak in front of her. So I'm guessing, somewhere else she picked up ain't. And it was funny at first, because I took her to go buy something, and she's like, oh, I ain't buying that, and I ain't buying that, and I ain't buying that. And I was like, dope. All right, we not buying that. I appreciate you. But then it got into like, we ain't doing that, and we ain't doing this. And I was like, what ain't? Where did this come from? And she's like, she hit me with the, like, Dad, you should know. Like, I'm shocked that you don't understand this concept already. She was like, ain't is a Texan word. And I was like, okay.
Oh, okay, cool. Because I thought she was trying to like pull your black card for a second.
Nah, she ain't pulled it back. She pulled my Texas card. And I was like, I bet you can have that, because I'm not a Texan. I'm not from here. You was born here, so that's you. You can have that all day. Say what you please. But yeah, me and Chef Elise had a good time. It's always a great time when she's around.
For sure.
But yeah, I had to get that out the way before we got into the recklessness. People beefing over, the pandemic, whether COVID is over. I saw the Lollapalooza photos of that crowd.
Yeah, insane.
So obviously, it's a lot of people who don't give a fuck. But on to lesser of importance beefs. Rappers is getting into it all of a sudden, and like rappers I didn't expect to get into it. So
yeah.
Over the past week, we saw two of my favorites, Royce the 5'9" and Lupe Fiasco, enter into something. I didn't even think it was real at first. Like I saw like Instagram posts about them dropping diss tracks against each other, and like the podcast possibly being over. I never even really, to be honest, I never really listened to the podcast. I feel kind of bad about that, but I didn't. I think I tried to listen to it once or twice, and it seemed tense. Like it did seem like they would be like low key taking shots at each other, but then on some like friendly. I couldn't tell the whole time like they like each other, they don't like it. Is this two dudes that are so cool that all they do is talk shit to each other, or they not that cool and don't realize what's going on at the moment?
I think it was the latter, but yeah, I felt the same way.
Yeah, so but I took a listen to these diss tracks, and it seems real. It seems really real. Not on some East Coast West Coast type stuff, but on some we really don't fuck with each other. The podcast is over. I think you're a nerd. I don't really know what Lupe's stance is. His diss record was kind of weird, but I don't know. Have you paid attention to it at all?
So I had been following them separately on like two different accounts. I think I follow like Lupe on the Pod Dealers account, and then like Royce from the Just Say Words account. And I was like you, like I had to go back through and like piece these things together, because they were two dudes. I think something had happened. This was well before the like the argument or whatever the beef was caused by, but they was doing this thing where they would like post old videos of them getting like shout outs from people.
Okay.
So it would be like somebody say Royce is dope, or like Royce would post a bunch of videos like he did for those Prime albums and stuff like that. So I saw that, and then it was like Mickey Fax kind of doing the same thing, and I was like, what? I was like, is Mickey Fax is Royce going at it, or I know that Mickey Fax's allegiance is to Lupe because Lupe was the first one like really bring him on like these big tours and teach him the game. I guess like as far as tour life is concerned.
Yeah.
So I kind of knew where that kind of came from. Then I essentially saw this situation where they were kind of talking about like, you can't rap better than me.
Yeah.
Now, granted, like if you're a hip hop fan, you run across anybody who's always saying they're the best. It's just something that we do, like or something that most people do in the culture, right? Where they're just kind of like, yeah, I'm the best. I am the best. If you think you're the best, you got to come see me. Well, fair enough. Nobody's taking that away from me, right? And then I had saw, and I'm a big, I don't care about your Instagram live person. I don't care that you went live, but something was like, I scrolled by and it went, I got 2 notifications. It was like, Mickey Fax is going live, Royce the 5'9" is going live. And I was like, all right, let me go see what's up. And so it's just them 2 going back and forth about, Royce is kind of explaining his side of what's happening between him and Lupe. And then the conversation had like switched into, Mickey Fax kind of was like, well, you said my name and I just want to make sure we good. And it went from like, yeah, we good, but if you gonna rap, you not gonna rap better than me.
Right.
And then I was like, wait, what happened?
Is that the one that Joe Budden jumped on?
No, I don't. If he did, I jumped on. I didn't stay on that long. I think I stayed up there maybe all of 10 minutes because it was just them kind of doing this thing. But I think that was after that, whatever Royce had put out. Yeah. And I didn't see it. I'm also one of those people where if the thing gets posted a lot, my brain just automatically like doesn't see it.
I'm with you.
Where I'm like, if I see, like, that's either the thing like the internet has done where like they post the same thing so many times to where you like either didn't pay this attention or you had to loop back around and be like, this person died. Like, why are there so many pictures of this person up here? So that's what happened. And then I was like, now I have to go back and do research. And I think I was tagging you in the stuff because I was like, I don't know what's happening, but this seems like something that would interest you for sure. So
yeah, no, it caught me completely off guard. And from what I've been able to piece together, like they had it, the 2 dudes have never met like physically, like in person.
Right.
Like they've only connected during this, pandemic time, over these lives. And then it's really bothering me, like how these, like, because Royce comes across as like the reformed gangster, like like he led a life that was a certain life, and he can always revert to that life. I mean, and Jay says the same kind of stuff, like don't make me flash back, don't make me relapse, And Royce comes across the same way, and then like now he's peace and just trying to get along with everybody and do the right thing. But like these like super gangster dudes are on these lives like a lot. Like it got to the point I was trying to follow it like for like journalistic integrity, like just so I understood exactly what the fuck was going on. And at certain points, like I'm looking at too many videos of dudes like FaceTiming each other. Like this is not fitting this with my toxic masculinity. Like this is not working for me. I can't keep feeling like a dude and I'm watching dudes like phone calls or shit like that. It was
it feels weird, right?
It got super weird, and they just kept doing it, and it would be like 5 people on the same call. I think Loesch jumped in there at one point, and then like Daylight's on there. But it seemed like the jump off point was they were talking about who's the greatest rapper or what the criteria is for who's like the greatest rapper. And and Lupe got in his bag. He's been doing this thing with EO Dub. I don't even know what it stands for. EOW, end of the week or something like that. But it's like a battle thing. But they make them go through all the different like hip hop checklists. Like you gotta freestyle, you gotta battle, you gotta. I haven't watched it, so I don't even know what what it is they make you do. It does seem like some overtly nerdy. It's like if you had to nerd up rap, this would be the way to do it. Like I have all these different subgenres, and you got to do all these different, meet all these skills or whatever.
It's like Ninja Warrior rap.
Yeah, Ninja Warrior rap. Just like who thought of this? But I can see it being dope. Like if I tried to write and try to do it at one point. I never tried to freestyle, but I could see myself appreciating people like going through these skill challenges. It's like really, you know, for hip hop. And I guess Royce didn't agree with that criteria. And then at some point, Loaded Lux, a battle rapper, and I think I don't even know who the other dude was. They got Lou on the phone and they was trying to arrange like a battle on Smack or URL, one of these sites between Royce and Lupe. And then when Lupe joined the conversation, he was giving off energy. First he got on the thing with no shirt on. And I saw a girl like ask like why did that trigger people that he was on it? Because everybody was like, put a shirt on, nigga. Like what? Like, before you start talking, put a shirt on.
Yeah, get dressed.
And she was like, why did that bother them so much? Like, you know, she was taking it to a masculinity standpoint. Like, why are they so triggered by a dude with no shirt? And I had to explain. Somebody did explain to her like a dude with no shirt almost seems like they doing the tough guy flex. Like look at me, look at my muscles or whatever. Like, you know. Like, why are you talking to me with no shirt on? Like, it's borderline disrespectful. Like, you know.
That's true. That's fair. I can rock with that.
Yeah, depending on your relationship with that person, don't get on the FaceTime with me with no shirt. That's either sexual or aggressive. One of the two, and I'm not cool with either one of them.
Yeah, it's really no middle ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's never a time where you're like, yeah, man, you know, I just had to talk. Like, yeah, yeah. And if you got on the tank top and it's too small, we don't like that either.
We don't like that either. Yeah, now have clothes on when you talk to me. Like, don't call me. Side note: don't call me from the bathroom. Don't call me when you just got out the shower. None of that.
Yeah,
like, I need you to be fully dressed. You know.
Yeah, but just talk to me in a suit.
Yeah. Or don't mention it. It definitely don't. I hate people that be in the bathroom and got to tell you. Like I wouldn't have known if you had said nothing, and now it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, now I'm hanging up. Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah. Don't let me hear a toilet flush or something. That's
oh my God, no, that's real.
But yeah, it got real after that. And I think at some point, Royce was just like, you could tell Royce was relapsing a little bit. And he was like, bitch, just rap. You know?
Yeah.
And I think, you know, you can't throw that word out there. That's damn near equivalent to, you know, suck my dick. Like one of the, you know, you call a dude a bitch in the wrong voice and you say that in the wrong voice. And, and things got to happen. So, I don't know. Yeah, track started coming out after that conversation.
Yeah, for sure. So that's kind of where I was piecing it together with that live. Not that particular live. I think the live with him and Mickey Fax, but I ended up listening to some other podcasts that were kind of in this stage too, where they were like, I don't know what's happening. So yeah, so there was a mixture of one, I think they had got into an argument on the podcast about the vaccine.
Oh yeah. Because Lou was connected with some with a campaign to promote vaccination, and I think Royce is anti-vax right now.
So then, when I went to the live, I think I don't want to say he was copping a plea, but it was more or less like Royce was kind of trying to explain his side, which was people had been coming to Lupe to battle, and he would shut it down. Don't talk to me about it. I don't want no parts of it. Yeah. Leave it alone. I'm cool. Like, we could still converse, but I don't try to secretly put me in no battles. So I guess these other people, right, who you're talking about with the battle criteria, went and talked to Royce. And because he was hearing them out, it made it seem like, well, if we do this show together or we work together in some capacity, and you know where I stand on don't talk to me about battling, and you go talk to my co-host or my homie, and he giving it some light or giving it some shine, then it feels like, yo, you're doing it behind my back, and that's not fair. Like, all right, so if I've been telling you I'm not rocking with it, I don't want no parts of it, and you like, well, look, they came to me and said something, blah, 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 here's a dollar amount. I don't give a shit. I told you I ain't with it. Like, I don't give a fuck what you think is finna happen. Like I'm not with it. And I can see how to, like, then you kind of ambush me on this live where I show up and everybody here like, all right, so look, this is what they talking about. This is the details. We have had conversations on air and off where I've told you I'm not with this battle shit. So, like, why are we even having this conversation? So I can see the whatever. So then, yes, to your point, one man just rap, bitch. Then like, or bitch just rap. Then yeah. Then I'm like, now see, you doing something else now.
Yeah.
Because now you took it somewhere else where I'm like, nah, I didn't even want to do this. And it's and to your point, these are people who can roll out of bed and give you bars.
Yeah. And we got bars. We got bars. I think Royce was saying like, yeah, the conversation was brought to him as if they had already talked to Lou, and it was like, and he was just like, all right, whatever. Like, if you want to do it, I'm with it. If you don't want to do it, I'm with that as well. But like, just set it up, whatever it is. And then when Lou got on the live with no shirt on, and he was definitely like amped and a little aggressive. Maybe he was already in like his feelings, like you said. Like, if you know I ain't about this, you shouldn't even be entertaining this conversation. That's the energy he came onto the live with. And Royce's stance was like, if you felt like I was doing something behind your back, to think I'm a phone call away. You just, this could have been settled with a phone call. You could have called me and we could have hashed it out. You get on the live, flexing, talking shit, and it's like, hey, bitch, just rap. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not the one. They both have this, like, I'm not the one,
right.
Stance. Like, like whatever aggressiveness you bring to me, you shouldn't bring that to me. Bring that to some other dude, but not me. But yeah, it got real fast. Royce did like this 9-minute freestyle or whatever that I think was targeted toward, not Royce. Lou did a 9-minute freestyle that I think was targeted toward Lou. Or no, did I say? I don't know. Lupe.
Yeah, Lupe
did a 9-minute
to
freestyle
Royce, right.
targeted toward Royce on a live, and then that's when the diss tracks came out. So we got a bar. I chopped up a little bit of them. I ain't really going to the Mickey Fax one, and I guess I'll explain why real quick. I think Mickey Fax got baited into this. Like, they was sunning him. Him and Joe Budden had him on a live, and they was really on some "who are you to even be talking to me" kind of vibe, and I could see how that could rub a person the wrong way if you think. And I don't know Mickey. I don't follow his music at all. I definitely believe he can rap, but he's not in my like pantheon of greatest rappers or whatever. And I guess Joe and Royce felt like he had no place in this conversation, so that's where his thing came from. And it was just too much. Mickey Fax. If anybody's a nerd in this situation, Mickey Fax.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that. So I am, I'll say I'm a Mickey Fax fan because I was like, wait, am I not? I was like, no, I got way too many mixtapes and albums to say that I'm not. But I do pay attention to what he was doing. I was very interested into this stuff because he had also like taken the time. So he created this character, for lack of a better term, it is called Mickey Mouse. But it's about like this. It's about this painter in the 80s or something like that. And so like this character awarded him all these other things with like art museums, all this other stuff that he was saying, right? And so in that same live with Royce, he was just like, what have you done like in rap? Like who like says your name? Like who challenges you in the booth, right? And to be honest, if you're looking at the lineup, it's just like when you look at sports, right? Yeah. So he's like, well, he was like, I'll write in a booth with like some people. And so he was like, well, like who? Like Royce was like, name them. And he's like, well, like I've written in the booth with like Fonte. We're like, okay, that's cool. Like that's good. Then he like, he started naming some other people. He's like, oh, I'm normally write by myself, which I get it. Most of the time you're an indie artist. You might not have the same circle as somebody else, right? Because Royce is also doing that thing where like I am respected in studios with people who do stuff. So he was like, I sat in the studio with Crooked Eye, and I sat in the studio with Joel Ortiz and Eminem and Dr. Dre and all these other people, right? So it's hard for you to I can see how you like, I won't get out of bed for a dude who sits in the studio with Asher Roth and, and somebody else, right?
Asher's like, nice though. He got bars.
Yeah, right. So it's like some people do like that, but if you're comparing it to like, it's just like, you look at the Lakers lineup versus like,
right.
Sacramento Kings, you're like, I'm not getting out of bed for this game. Like, so that kind of thing is what happens to these people. And I get how they can feel like that. Like, oh, you had, especially Joe Budden does this thing where he's like, oh, who are you or whatever. And I get it. I absolutely understand it. There's time in the game. It's all like, it's all a formula. Time in the game plus what have you done? What have you contributed to the culture? I think Mickey, like I'm with you. Mickey can rap. He's definitely held my attention. There's some definitely supportable bars. But I think from a friendship standpoint is where this comes in at, right? Like somebody who I deem to be my mentor, y'all talking recklessly about you have done wrong in a way. If he won't talk to y'all, then I got it. Like it's his rap version of having a shooter on deck, basically.
I'm gonna say that, and this is a lesson for anybody in any beef dealing with dudes. Like Here's where I think Mickey went wrong. He answered people's questions. Like Royce was fucking with him. Like he was really just like, oh, so who, like he was asking him stuff as if, like if you answer the question, that's validating the fact that this person can ask you that question and they deserve or require an answer. Like the best thing you can do in a beef is be dismissive. Somebody say something to you and be like, and like you said, like I ain't even getting out of bed. Like why would I even justify who you think I am by answering your question or doing? And Royce has been gaslighting the hell out of people. I can say that there's a part of this that makes me look at Royce a little differently. But he's been talking this whole thing about checking boxes, and he don't never talk about what the boxes are. It's just it's just check the boxes.
That boxes exist.
The boxes exist, and you don't check enough boxes, and I do check enough boxes. And people are always asking him like, "What are the boxes?" And he's like, "Man, just checking boxes." And so I think Mickey came out and did this diss track where he tried to check whatever boxes he believes are the boxes, and he checked quite a few. Like he mimicked some other rappers' styles. Like he really he really did a lot in that track. But it really came across to me like somebody told you what to do and you did it. You got son, bro. Like,
Okay, no, all right, no, I wish you because it definitely felt like that, and it absolutely. Like you said, if somebody sets you up, they put a battery in your back, and then they told you to go swing for the fences.
Yeah.
And you did, like you said, you went out there, you did everything. Like, because you don't know exactly what boxes. So you hit the research box, you hit the people that you didn't speak to directly box. I'm checking you because you talked to my friend crazy box. What have you contributed to the culture? What have you done? And you ain't nobody. If you saying I'm a nobody, then you're also a nobody, and here's proof. Yeah. Like, so yeah, that's fair. I can absolutely see that.
And they baited him into it. They sunned him like crazy on that live, and then he went and did everything that they told him to do. Like like we can I can control you. If I tell you can't do something, you're gonna do it to prove to me. And then that's you like validating who I am. You feel like you got to prove yourself to me. You must think I'm somebody worth, proving yourself to. And that means whatever dish you come up with is really invalid because you've already shown your reverence and respect toward me. So I don't know. I did chop up some pieces of at least the Royce and the Lupe track. I want to go through these bars real quick and see what your opinion of them is. I did this like 30 seconds before we started this call, so I don't even remember what button is what. So we're going to be surprised as much as I am. I think I know the first one. The first one, and they both like dissed him on this. They both like made it seem like the fact that Royce will pull like pop culture things into his songs, like they used that as a diss. Like that's like 90% of your bar. Like all you do is make pop culture references. And that one I didn't get because to me like that's. Are you not supposed to do that? Like, are you not supposed to, like, show how you could be talking about something that just happened yesterday? Like, so this obviously wasn't written 3 weeks ago. I did this just now. Like, I don't know.
I can see that, but I think that's because people get on Fabulous for that. Like, soon as something happened on Twitter or it's jokes on something on IG, like the next Fabulous release is about to be whatever. Like I'm surprised we haven't heard anything for like the Sha'Carri Richardson something. I'm sure like
I got one for you. So this is one of my favorite bars from Royce's joint.
I don't carry suitcases on big.
Wrong one. I think this is it.
Y'all with all the jokes laugh hard, but y'all ridiculous. I'm with all the smoke, Matt Barnes, Sha'Carri Richardson.
Like that, I like that one. Y'all with all the jokes laugh hard, but y'all ridiculous. I'm with all the smoke, Matt Barnes, Sha'Carri Richardson. I asked last week, like, was that too soon? Like, was it too soon to throw a little jab at Sha'Carri?
I think if we know the full reason, if you know the full story of why she was smoking versus just the surface level stuff, no. If you like, I know the full reason, it's too soon. If you just know the surface level stuff, you're like, nah, that's good. I like that. So.
It was to me. It was to the point. It was on topic. He threw Matt Barnes in there with all the with the podcast and with all the stuff with Kwame Brown.
Yes, that's good time. That's good content. We love that.
Kwame Brown is killing it right now. I really need to just be way more reckless. Like I need to just say more dumb. It's not dumb. Stuff he says isn't dumb, but he He just don't
It's-
give a
Yeah,
fuck.
yeah. He hasn't been in a world. He hasn't been in a world that requires him to be the spotlight. He did this thing where he's just like, this is the way I talk when nobody's looking. And the thing is, I don't think he really said anything. I feel like he didn't attack any communities, but he definitely played a lot of like, y'all some coons. And I was like,
he did it.
well, all right.
I mean, it was just the language in general. Like, I just didn't know. Like, you go from nobody has heard from you to y'all gonna hear from me, and you gonna hear me talk about niggas and bitches and coons and
Non-stop for like 3 weeks. It was like I was excited to wake up every day. I was like, what, did he say something last night? Did he?
It's like, man,
What did he do?
Ease into it, bro. Use a filter or something like that. You know, just don't hit us with all of them in the same sentence. Like
Anybody, that's the other thing too. He was also so far removed from trendy social media culture that anything that was cool, he would wake up and take it as a threat. So, because I remember waking up and it was like, Kwame Brown goes as Jamel Hill, and I was like, what did she say? He was like, talk about somebody I woke up and chose violence. Out. And I was like, you did, and it's not offensive. He was going in, I'm sick of her. It was a lot. It was so good those times.
All right, so that was a good bar, I thought, from Royce. I got a few more here. Let's see.
I don't carry suitcases on big runs to Mars Deep. I don't carry big guns to a small beef. I don't really care what Mickey Fax has to say. Add Lupe, that's touche. I don't care for big gums and small teeth.
That was, to me, that was a shot. Like, and my mama always taught me, you don't make fun of somebody for something they can't control. I think that was aimed at Mickey Fax, the big gums and small teeth. And that felt very schoolyard. Very schoolyard. It reminded me of like Ether with like the you ugly and you gay kind of stuff like this is, but I still laughed and I enjoyed the bar. You know, maybe that's why Mickey felt he had to say something. Like, I don't know. I don't know if a dude can get on a rap track and talk about your teeth and you got to say something.
No, for sure. I think, if you have capital gums and lowercase teeth, that is not ideal. That is not ideal. So I always think about that in the case of the player haters ball, like all the mini games, all the little mini games they played. Yeah. Like, so look at his teeth. Look at his good teeth.
I just remember
so that's the thing.
Who was it? It was the white female comedian that's gay or whatever, and it was like it looked like she wears underwear with dick holes in them.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of bars I was getting from some of these tracks. Like, they was really going to that place with it. Let's see. I got something else from Royce. What else?
Well, you ain't got to lie. You a hostile guy, like you about to ride with new entourage, but you not too wise. You been ostracized. Used to rock with Nas. You was hot July, but look at you now. You just out for ride. Loaded Luck said if we battle, then he gon' sit with Luke. I told him you're dead if we battle. Now who gon' sit with you?
And that's again like more of like that Royce, like Royce does come across as the more confident of all until he started getting emotional on these live IG. Like, if there's anywhere where he lost this battle, I don't necessarily think it was on the tracks. It was on these lives. Like, he seemed to have really got hurt by whatever Mickey put in his thing. And he's been mad emotional and it hasn't responded lyrically. But yeah, that whole one was, addressing the Loaded Lux situation, because Loaded Lux was the one trying to hype this battle, and he was like, if they do it, he gonna walk with Lupe. But, in that bar, he's like, Loaded Lux said if we battle, he gonna walk with Lou. I told him, you're dead. If we battle, who gonna walk with you? Like that's a bar. Like that one hit for me. But again, it's so unnecessary that it's funny. Like it's like these two dudes beefing is so ridiculous to me that it's hilarious.
It's one of those things where it's like, I think this, like, back to your original point. Like, I think it's one of those things where you couldn't tell, and us as an audience couldn't tell if this was real. Like, did this just become the rap version of a real conversation, or is this really like, because like even in Royce's, like, even in the record, it's not it's not hard. Like you know those like when you go back and you listen to diss tracks or you go back and listen to like the beats are hard, they're dark. It's one of those things like, oh, he might really hurt that person. Like, like this is just kind of like when you get in a disagreement in a barbershop or any gathering and you're like, look, man, I feel you. I know you think you got hands or you think you can do whatever it is. These people know that I'm battle tested, so don't do that. Like, I'm telling you for you. Like, I'm not telling you I'm not doing this for the audience. I'm telling you for you. Don't do this. I don't want you to do this. You got other things. You're a bright future. Do it. Go out there and be your best you can be. But doing this with me is not. It ain't gonna work for you. And I think that's where it really stands. Like it really feels like and that's what, like you said, it comes full circle with the like, all right, so who are you to be telling me like, oh, I got bars for you, this, that, like, okay, go to sleep, son. Like it's like it's one of those things. But yeah, it is. I'm with all the rapping. I am with you, and I think most of the audience has decided that, like, yeah, I feel you that Royce can rap, but all of this getting emotional on live and trying to cop please and somebody send bars your way, and then the next thing you start talking about is the mental health of black men. I don't know what you talking. What is happening? So yeah, it was a lot.
If there's, like I said, if there's anywhere where I think, and I'm a Royce fan, I'm a Royce stan. Like, you know, he's definitely he's well within my top 5, and I really think, you know, with what he's been doing on these albums recently, like he's in my discussion about whether or not he's number 1 or not. But if there's a place where he like lost this battle to me, it was that he came in with that stance of like you said, like I'm really good at this. Like, and if you got a bright future, kid. Like don't end your career, you know, don't end your career fucking with me. Like just, you know, chill, like relax. Let me just couple light jabs. Let me show you, you know, what the power feels like a little bit. I ain't gonna hit you as hard as I can, but I want you to understand that like half a swing, you know, this is what it's gonna feel like. And I think if when people said, all right, you hit me with that and I'm coming back, and then now you don't say nothing, it feels like it may be Royce a little bit, like I don't really want to do this to you, so I'm not. But then at the same time, it reads like maybe you can't, because these dudes came back. They didn't take your warning. They still spitting. They still throwing shots at you. And now you just emotional and talk about mental health and stuff like that. Like, what happened to I'm really good at rapping? Like, because this is just rap right now, but you're not rapping no more.
Right. Yeah, I think that's the part where I wonder if this is a larger discussion. Has social media and technology as a whole, has it ruined the way we feel about beef? Because remember, like if you heard like diss tracks like when you were younger, like even like in the 90s, like it would have to be on somebody's mixtape, somebody would have to play it on the radio, it would have to be something like it would have to get to you, and it could be weeks later. It could be weeks later, it could be months later, right? And then now with this whole like everybody's on, right? You can get on Clubhouse, you can get on Facebook Live, you can get on IG Live, you can be on Twitter, you can put your track on SoundCloud in 30 minutes. Like there's no way to escape being the like, oh, I didn't respond or whatever. And so now we've created these new rules, like you said, like, well, he ain't say nothing back, so he lost.
Yeah.
So you be like, for real? Like, yeah, no, he had time.
Yeah, I mean, so Lupe literally freestyled some of his stuff, and so you know, you do feel like if you could have responded, you would have responded. So it's either I'm not responding because I'm trying to be bigger than this, but then at the same time, get off live, like stop FaceTiming dudes and talking about it, you know, and let it go, or rap. Because Lupe's disses were far more direct. Like that track from Royce, it wasn't a diss track toward Lupe. It was a track with some disses aimed toward Lupe in it, but it was 7 minutes, and Lupe probably got, I don't know, 10 or 12 bars total, you know, throughout the entire 7 minutes. Now, Lupe's disses, on the other hand, they stung. Like those, like I need a response because he said some disrespectful shit towards you, Royce. I need you to respond. Let me give you. This is, I think, the most disrespectful of all of them.
Your story crooked and your book too. Past the dumb shit, but you would shoot somebody's son holding sun chips. I wish they would've left Biz here and fucking took you. And not.
Yeah, so somebody say something like that, like right after, and in two ways. Like one, they made fun of Royce for using pop culture references, and then you diss Royce by bringing up Biz Markie, which is a current event pop culture reference. But you say something like, I wish they would have left Biz here and took you. Like that's, and in the same bar, you making fun of a guy for being overly violent towards you. Because, you know, Royce said something like, I'll shoot your son while he holding your son chips. So I put a hole through your son while he holding your son chips, something like that. And so that was the bar he was referencing. But then you like, man, I wish he was dead. So like, I don't, you know.
Yeah, it's a lot of hypocrisy in rap. Like that's the thing that's so crazy is like, right, it's especially from Lupe's perspective where he talks about how violent Chicago is and how he wishes it wasn't as violent and things that he wants to do to make it less violent. Did in the music is like, I am also extremely violent. Yeah. so like, yeah, that is one of those things it's super weird, right? When you catch that thing. And I think that whole hold through your son while you're holding sun chips is very, I think that caught a lot of people where they're like, yo, I don't know what to do with that. and you know what? If I was you, I would go at you too. But yeah, like, damn, I think that is also a common beef tactic, right? Where they do that thing where there's like somebody who has recently died or somebody they know who has died. Yeah. And like, yo, I wish they would have took you instead I think that's one of those like flawless victory lines where you're like, it's because there's really no way to rebut that where you're just like, all right, you know what? That's whack. I hate that you did that.
Yeah, I mean, that's harsh. Like, to me, that's mean. Like, you know, again, like Royce's jabs were like like your teeth ugly or something, man. He was like, I wish he was dead. and if I'm playing devil's advocate, like the way I took the Sun Chips line from Royce was when you watch, like if you watch Smack or URL or any of them things, like I don't understand how you leave that stage and like something don't pop off, because they be in each other's faces talking about, you know, how they gonna shoot you, and they be doing the, you know, hand gestures with the guns and all that. Like I'm, you know, I hate to do the era I'm from, but the era I'm from, I remember when that Biggie Bone Thugs and Harmony song came out, and it had like shotgun blast, you know, peppered throughout the beat. And if you was in a club or something, and when the shotgun blast, because everybody wanted to imitate the shotgun when the shotgun went off, you need to be careful what direction you was pointing in at the time you did that, because if you pointed at somebody, you know, while you was doing it, you know, indirectly, that's a problem. Yeah. You know,
they take it personally.
You might need to, you know, leave out the back or something. Like, you need to be careful how you exit, because. So I don't, you know, so I took that as that. Like, they all talk about how they gonna shoot you and kill this person, and I'm gonna wet you and all that kind of stuff. Royce is not shooting nobody's son holding a bag of chips. He's not doing it. I didn't take it literally, you know, or super violent. I took it as a battle line, you know. But
yeah, I'm with you too. As much as I watch. And I'm fairly new to watching battle rap, maybe like in the last like 3 years. But like, yeah, I never really was with that. And like you said, I'm from that, like all of this touching me and tapping my pockets and telling me you gonna come in my house and shoot my family and all of that other stuff. Hey man, we too close, man. I might have to. That's why when they be like, oh, a fight broke out. And I'm like, I'm surprised this is not a weekly thing.
Right.
Every event, somebody should be getting punched in their mouth because you said something crazy. Yo, hey, your wife is in the crowd. I'm gonna do something to her after the show. Kill that man while we up here. I don't even gotta wait my turn. Go ahead and shoot him.
Loaded Lux got a whole video where he's like talking to this dude about his father being in prison and how his father ain't shit because he left him.
Oh,
You seen that? I'm like, damn, that's deeply personal, and you in my face while you saying it in public. Like you saying it to me in my face, and you saying it to me where other people can see, and I just gotta like stand here and this is cool. Like this is just a part of the thing.
Yeah, and in that same battle, they showed something from his IG where the dude was like skinny. I think this is the way he went against Calico, but he was like where he was like skinny dipping or something, and they like put it on like this giant projector. It was like, this is what's wrong with kids today, and I was like, what? Wait, what's happening now? What?
Yeah, these dudes are much stronger than I am because I have no idea how this happens to you publicly, and then like,
I dap you up later, like. Yeah,
it was just a battle, and it's recorded. People watch it for years to go, like years to come. Yeah. You can be an old man. Somebody will bring up the time. Remember when Lux was talking shit about your father? Yeah. You ain't do shit then. They don't talk that shit now. Like,
yeah, no, it's a lot. That's a shame. Yeah. But yeah, as far as like this rapping and what I want, so the part that sticks out to me, that I wonder, will this ever be the new wave? Not necessarily for rappers, but just for people in general. Is they created a podcast not knowing each other.
Yeah.
Like just kind of knowing of each other. Like, I know that you dope. I know you're kind of cool. I see you got a following. I'm kind of dope. I do my thing. We should talk about rap together. And I think about that a lot too. From a content creator standpoint of like, yo, could you realistically do that? Like, could you pick one topic, put two strangers in a room, and then just have them talk about it? Like one of them is more well-informed about the situation or closer to a situation than the other. And it's just one person who's kind of just like, not necessarily oblivious, but just kind of like, all right, well, I kind of have a vague idea of what's happening. And I was like, damn, that's kind of like a really good concept. But then also I don't want to say an advanced age because they're not probably that much older than us, but like this kind of stuck in your way situation, right? Because like this really could all be, like you said, it could all be solved with the conversation, get on the phone, fix this, and it could be done. But I guess it's like, to your point, right? If you're talking about toxic masculinity, where I'm like, I feel this way about this, and there's no moving me from this. Just a hill I literally will die on. And then everything else is just like whatever. And if they're both that way, like, how do you even move forward, right? Because now I get it, because you just feel like, oh well, I'm better at rapping, and I'm better at this, that's, and the third. But like, there's still a real issue here.
Yeah. Nah, it's weird because, you know, I did a ton of guest spots last year. I was really proud of that, and it, like you said, it was like meeting a stranger on Facebook. Somebody just like, hey, anybody want to come on my show and talk about whatever? I'm like, yeah, I'll do it, and then I end up on this show, and 9 times out of 10, it was like a white podcast, and we always got into a conversation about race at some point, and I enjoy those conversations, and I'm never going to take anything personally. But yeah, I mean, that's an awkward situation to like not know a person, not know their views, not know anything. All I know is you white and I'm black, and now you asking me a question about. I think I did a show way back about like, were black comedians funny? And it's like, I could have immediately taken that as an insult, like, you know, the question. I could have just taken the premise as I'm coming on here and we about to exchange some words. We had fun with it, but I don't know if you can always do that with just two random individuals. Somebody has to come into the situation knowing this could go left, and if it goes left, this is how I'm gonna approach it. I know I have this thing now. I just realized it this week where like I have turned I'm gonna pray for you into a low key diss. Like, that's my way of insulting people. Like, because I'm getting into beefs online all the time for no reason. Like, I see stuff. We're in the era of misinformation, and I just have this attitude where like I see something that's bad information, and I could just, it don't apply to me, whatever, like, not say nothing. But I feel like I should say something, not for the person that posted it, but for somebody else that may come across and then get this information with no opposition and take it as fact or take it as the truth. So I respond to these things and I get into this stuff. And then half the time, you know, I'll say something borderline disrespectful. I think I was talking to somebody about Simone Biles, and I was like, part of it was, you should keep your dumb ass comments to yourself. And then the last line was like, I'm gonna pray for you though, you know. And it's like, you know, it's like, and I know I'm saying it is almost to say, like I'm on a moral higher ground than you are, so I'm looking down on you, and I'm gonna pray that you come around to be as enlightened as I. Like that's the way I'm saying it when I type it. Like I know that's what I mean.
Right.
But I think you would have to enter a situation with that kind of attitude. Like these are my outs for when somebody disrespect me. This is how I'm gonna disrespect them back nicely, in a very nice way. I'm gonna pray for you.
Yeah, you know what? I might have to co-op that. I feel like my when I say and that's okay, you can say something. It's like it's saying what I want to say. Like so, like if you do the like, it's my new version of no offense and then saying something offensive.
Yeah.
Is and that's okay. So like my new favorite thing is like now everybody's trying to say they're introverts, right? And I'm like, oh, I'm an introvert, so it's like being in the house. And I was like, nah. I've seen y'all's Instagram stories. Y'all be out. What has happened is you have ran out of money, and now you're telling people that you are introvert. You're broke, and that's okay. Like that is way better than you trying to convince us that you enjoy being in the house. Because I saw your Instagram, so you was out. Right below the last 2 weeks. Before that, if you scroll up or down, whatever version it is, you are out and about. You're doing things. Those things cost money, and as you can see, each picture there's less money being spent. See how that works? It's okay.
It's okay.
Fine.
It's okay though.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I like that. I like that. Yeah, you got it. I think for these kind of things to work, especially when you're dealing with like rappers, and it's a competitive sport, and there's masculinity involved, and any conversation has the potential to go left. Like if you don't enter it with like that little soft jab that you can throw, rather than getting offended and saying something harsh like I wish they left Biz Marquee and took you. I need to stop like giving Lupe a hard time. Like, it was a battle. He did what he was supposed to do. The dude did say he put a hole in his son, so you can say I wish he did.
It's pretty strong.
It's pretty strong. I got some. What is this next one?
I ain't trying to bash, but it was like you was off your schedule. You was throwing more than jabs. I was like, this nigga's incredible. We had to fucking edit you. I don't know what vegan Detroit vegetable Dr. Sebi diet infected you to think that we shared the same metrics, or somehow I was less than you and I was the type of nigga that you could get really disrespectful to. I ain't never lectured you. I get energetic and joke. And real talk, nigga, I ain't never disrespected you.
Yeah, I think I picked that one because that was one of the few times during that Lupe song where he like did Lupe, like he actually rapped. Like it really came across as a freestyle. The bars were so like elementary. Like he was rapping like shame with lame and stuff like that. And that was one of the few times where like he went into what I believe, what we know he can do. Again, evoking Dr. Sebi's name seemed like pop culture reference, but whatever, you can see where my allegiances lie. But
yeah, for sure.
But here's another tip for anybody involved in a beef. Because Royce tried it. That's more gaslighting. When you say stuff like, I just get energetic and joke, but I ain't never disrespected you. 9 times out of 10, when you getting energetic and you joking, you going to disrespect somebody. And then you don't get the right to say whether or not you disrespected somebody or not. You 100% are the only person aware of your intentions. So you can always say, I never intended to disrespect you. But if you say something and a person is disrespected by it, you did that. You can't say, I didn't do that. You can say, I didn't mean to do that, but you did that. So, Lupe taking the stance of, if you took it as disrespect, that's on you, not me. I don't know. I don't agree. And I don't suggest you get energetic and joke and think everything's going to be cool.
Yeah, I think, I'm 100% on board with that too. Like we don't get to dictate how people feel, right? Like you said what you said and you stood by it. Okay, so that made me feel away, and that is that. So we'll handle it accordingly. Like you said, like we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But yeah, you don't get to be like, nah, I didn't do that, and I said what I said, and you felt how you felt. All right, cool. Well, I get to respond however now, because you didn't care about how you said it, and I don't care how I respond. So get ready, buckle up, cowboy.
But yeah, man, the beef was just ridiculous. I was enjoying the bars. I would love to get more music out of it. But if we don't, I'll be glad that it's over and we forget about it and it don't come up ever again. I was low key hoping, especially once Mickey Fax stepped in, because I think Royce made a comment about like, who my friends are. I can pull people into this too, and I don't think y'all want that, and I do. Like, yeah, man, you gonna pull, you gonna pull M, or you gonna? I would love to see Budden get off the bench and do. I think Lupe actually threw a real quick shot at him. This is it.
This nigga think he's Siri. Your answer to your queries. What's Siri to Steve Jobs? A button to Tahiri.
So he gave him a shot. He threw one out there. He brought the Tahiri situation back up. I'm pretty sure Joe is so used to those kind of jabs that's not going to get him out of bed. But I would appreciate it if we can get a Slaughterhouse reunion for this, or a Bad Meets Eve, Brad versus Evil track out of this. I'm game.
That's funny that you say that, because I've seen them have this conversation that Slaughterhouse could get back together.
Yeah.
Which I was like, that's what made me be like, is this beef bigger than what I thought it was? Because scrolling down the line and then seeing Crooked Eye be like, I think Slaughterhouse could absolutely survive it during this time, or could Slaughterhouse coming back at this time would be like great. And then like I saw Joel Ortiz be like, absolutely. And I was like, wait, what? Has the beef brought y'all together? Is this like some Voltron? Like, it's so bad that we got all like combined forces in that situation. Like, we like, what is going on right now? But yeah, I'm with that too. Listen, my thing is, when it comes to rapping, the more chaotic, the better. Just bring in everybody. Like, as much as I don't really care for the game as much, like the game, the rapper, when that dude was beefing, there was no time wasted. It was, he got this morning, we got a track in the afternoon.
Yeah.
It was increasing number of bars. It was like, well, give him 100 bars, 200 bars, 300 bars, 500 bars, 600 bars. Then it got to like, I remember at one point it was like 1,500 bars. I was like, all right, this guy.
Yeah, I'm not listening to your 30-minute diss track. Like, this is getting out of control.
Because now you just walking around the house naming stuff. Because there's no way this man made you this mad to be rapping for 13 whole minutes. Like, all right, come on now, just cut it off.
I would love to see Budden. I want to see Joe Budden get back to something where like his personality is not a detriment. Like, he's ruined that fucking podcast. And I love that podcast, and I mourn his death. But yeah, like, I mean, he was coming across on that as an asshole continuously. But that was good for podcasting. But yeah, I think, as a rapper, his personality fit. Like, he makes somber, sad, depressive music, and he fits. Like, he's the epitome of that. He makes music for my depressive periods, and I enjoy that. And that's the one place where he can be Joe Budden and say the dumb shit that he says, and it's cool. Like, I was such a Joe Budden fan, and then seeing him on Love and Hip Hop, like, lowered that a little bit, and then the podcast, like, killed it in the Slaughterhouse situation, killed it some more. If he could come back to something where, like, his abrasive ass personality was necessary and not a detriment, like, I would applaud that. If you're listening, Joe, which I know you're not, but if you are, like, bars, man, you can be an asshole on the bars, and that's acceptable. Do that. Stop being an asshole everywhere else.
Yeah. I can agree with that. I co-sign that. I don't have too much to add to that, but yes, 100%, 100%.
But yeah, all right. So moving on from this, ridiculous beef to something that's more interesting that I'm really looking forward to. We're going to get the Dipset versus Lox versus. What are your thoughts going into it? What are you expecting? If you had to pick a crew, what side would you go with?
I think the thing for me is who was more impactful in my life, and that would have to be Dipset.
Oh,
now, I love the Lox. There's nothing about the Lox that I don't like. Right now, them like they are the like. It's that thing too. Also being older, like I like Jadakiss' styles as men, like dudes, like they even when they crack jokes on the internet, it's like they they crack jokes on you about being like manly men and like not knowing about stuff. Like the most recent thing that I saw was like Styles doing the Jim Jones weatherman impression, being like, yeah, if he lose, I'm the new weatherman. Like, if these super raspy New York voices are hilarious to me. I think that's what I think looking at them as people, right? Like Jim is just him as a person, and Cam as a person. It's much like you just said about Joe Budden. It's like, damn, you don't gotta be an asshole to everybody in your family. Like, damn, you could like legit chill. But the Locks was also like, I was younger when they came around. Obviously, with the whole stuff, I listened to them all through the whole Big situation and then the Shiny Suit era. Yeah. So like, we know how important they are to the culture. I think once it got to all this like D Block situation, I was kind of older and kind of out of it. And then when they started doing their solo stuff, I felt like, well, I was more just like everybody else, like a Kiss and Styles fan. Yeah. And no knock to She, because she has some really dope stuff, but it's whatever. But as a whole, like Dipset, I was older, so I kind of was on my own. So wearing like big basketball jerseys, Timbs, do-rags, all that other stuff feels right up my alley. And yeah, a lot of the music that like Heatmakers and stuff was making during that time, fantastic. We really appreciated that.
I don't know. I'm definitely siding with Locks. Just, I guess, you know, from when they came in, and then, like I said, from the era that I'm from, and I hate saying that shit. It sounds stupid every time I say it.
It makes us also feels dated, right? Like, it makes us feel like you've been around and seen some stuff. Yeah, from my era, like. And
I'm not gangster in any stretch of the imagination, but like you said, like yeah, but when it comes to like what gangster is and what gangster isn't, and like the manly man kind of stuff, like the Locks feel, you know, closer to real to me for that. Like Dipset to me at some point was like cartoon characters, like the pink and the jewelry and the crazy. What they had, like the pocket chains and stuff. They did like they did like shit for effect, you know, and like you know the big clothes and all of that, and it just, if you want to, I blame Dipset a little bit for the state of hip hop as it is right now. I think they ushered in the era of like personality and like your wardrobe and all that other stuff being on equal footing as with your musical ability, and like kids these days have taken it to where it supersedes it. Like if you a character and if you dress a certain way or if you do certain thing, you wear a lot of pink or you put a pink diamond in your forehead or whatever dumb shit they doing these days, like that somehow makes you an incredible artist. I know diss to Lil Uzi Vert. I don't know any of his music to be able to diss him like that. But I feel like Dipset was like the beginning of that. They was the beginning of just, I don't know what it is about Dipset that Joe, maybe it was because everybody liked him. I might just be that much of a contrarian that like it was such a movement that I was like, I can't fuck with it. And the Locks always, even when they was mainstream, felt underground for some reason. Like they always felt like the underdog.
That's true. No, that's absolutely true about the Locks. Even though, yeah, I could clearly go listen to them have a song with Timbaland on the radio and still feel like they didn't get enough recognition. Like, I know they just played them 20 times on the radio, but still, they're not getting the credit that they deserve. I don't know if, I think the wardrobe thing has always been a part of hip hop. I do feel like, like I know more people who know Kwame for Polka Dots than they actually know Kwame songs.
Bet.
So yeah, that's it's tough. I think if we wanted to pinpoint something that was wrong with hip hop that Dipset contributed to, I think they could also be cited for somewhat the birth of mumble rap and not having to have overly complex bars. I remember being working somewhere where it was only 6 of us from above the Mason-Dixon line. And when Cam said, computers putin', every dude who loved rap They gathered us all up, all 6 of us. They were like, explain this right now. Why are y'all destroying hip hop? We're like, hey fam, we didn't know he was gonna do that. Yeah.
Yeah, and Cam got bars though. And Jim Jones has only gotten better. Like I definitely respect him more these days than I did then. He was one of the people that like loving hip hop did more good than bad for it. Like that whole scene where he's talking to dudes, he's like, you think the things you doing is conducive to you walking around in these streets safe? I was like, damn Capo, I didn't even know you knew conducive, but shouts to you. Like, yeah, I fucks with Jim Jones. I hate the fact that his girl proposed to him. Like, I don't really rock with that, but
yeah, that was a little strange.
That's not a musical thing. And then all right, so here's a quick story for again why I don't fuck with Dipset. And New York, I think at this point just hates me in general, but I am siding with Yonkers, so y'all can't hate me but too much. But I was dating this girl that was like a front desk person at a big hotel in DC, and I remember her calling me one night because Dipset was in town and they were staying at her hotel, and I think Cam might have been like at the desk and he was inviting her to go someplace, and she was calling me to see if it was okay, and I'm on the phone like. And this is like right after like Horse and Carriage and all the other shit. So I'm like, I know what these niggas is about to do to you. Like, are you really calling me to find if it's okay if you go hang out with Cameron? Fuck no, it ain't okay. And I don't know how much of my response he heard, or maybe he saw her face, or maybe she was just motioning to him like, nah, I can't go. But I can hear him in the background. That nigga don't know me, man. Fuck that nigga. He don't know. So yeah, me and Cam, he don't know it. He don't know it, and I'm sure he don't care in the slightest. But we on rock to this day. Like, shouts to Cameron, man. If you ever want to come on the show, I'd appreciate it. But I got issues with Cam. I got issues. He tried to steal my girl, man. He tried to kill my father.
Yeah, Horse and Carriage. That was a. Yeah, you had to stop his run, and I appreciate you for that because you got to stand your ground. You got to stand your ground and be like, no, you mean the song that's on the radio all day? Hell no. Work your shift. Stay there. Be safe. That's, you know what? That's a good reason. That is 100%. So just be like, fuck Santana's Town and all that other shit that they about to play. Shadas and Clockwork and all that other shit. No, damn that. He tried to holler at my girl, fuck you in your American flag suits. Like, and
not to say that I was dating like a supermodel or anything at the time. Like I was a little shocked. Like, you really?
What's happening? Do what?
You sure he was talking to you? You sure?
You sure it's just not a man just named Cameron right at the front, right? You sure it's not the same?
Like, you're not falling for the okie doke, are you? But
yeah.
But nah, I'm looking forward to that verse. Like, I'm gonna tune in, and I really feel like they probably just gonna get on there and do it like other rappers have done. I think they all get along and they enjoy each other's music, and it'll be a more celebration of like 90s, early 2000 New York hip hop than anything else. Like, all the stuff online is for fun. They having fun with this, and that's what I like the most. Like, when you get these rappers come on and they having fun with the idea of a beef rather than this actual beef between two knowledgeable dudes that seem to be all about peace. But this is gonna be fun.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited about it. I'm super excited about it in the same way of, like you said, it's more of a celebration. I think that was also a point that I thought of in Versus that Kiss had kind of talked about in his when they had asked him, like, well, who would the Lox go up against? And he was like, it don't matter. You can put us up against anybody. The thing is, in this Versus, you got to get people to show up, and you got to get a group that actually still rock with each other. Yeah. And I thought that was really important because I think that early on in Versus, it was just like, we'll get who we could get for nostalgia purposes. We don't care. So, like, you got 3/4 of Jagged Edge and 1/8 of 112. You know what I mean? They're just being like, sticking people in the room, being like, actually these people are going through legal battles. And that's why I keep people going through legal battles or people genuinely not liking each other, which is why I don't understand week after week or every time we see Versus, somebody's like, it's time for New Edition to get up here. Like, yeah, y'all, you're not probably ever gonna get that. I know y'all keep wanting to see it, It's not finna happen.
Nah, not finna happen. Not finna happen.
I don't even know what they're gonna do when they try to do the Boys to Men one, because I don't know where the
where do all them dudes stand?
I think they're all good because they think they have a Vegas show, but the Deep Voice dude, I don't know where he at. Like, I don't know what's his deal.
Yeah, that was wasn't that like Brian McKnight's brother or something like that? Or?
I don't know. Yeah, you might be knowing. Yeah, you know, you're deeper into the musical game than me. How about the
Nah, man, I seen your I seen a IG joint of your Serato up, dog. You like a DJ or something, man. Anybody that just got Serato? Don't nobody got Serato for no reason. It's too fucking expensive.
It is. One, it is Serato DJ Lite. It's significantly cheaper than regular Serato. Two, when you bored in a pandemic, you'll do anything. So I'm like, yeah, we'll just play around with this for a little bit. But yeah, that is I'm excited for this because I think we need this in this time.
Yeah, and to bring it full circle to conversations you and I have had, I really, and I thought about this. You asked me this a long time ago. Like, Jada and Styles, when they do songs together, like, it's just, that's the greatest, like, rap duo almost of all time in my mind. Like, and I can't even tell, because they do, almost all the songs they do together, they do that back and forth kind of thing where you can't tell, like, are they all writing this, like, bar for bar? Like, is he writing one line and you write the next line, or is somebody writing the whole verse and y'all just spit it like this? Like, how does this whole work out? But,
yeah.
Like, and you asked me when we was talking about Styles versus Beans, and I was like, man, Jada and Styles is unfuckwittable. And you really saying that Jada and Styles records is better than Beans and Jay-Z? And as much of a Jay-Z fan as I was, like, that you caught me with that one. I was like, I don't want to say something reckless. But today, where I'm at right now, I might put the Jada and Styles catalog ahead of the Beans Jay-Z catalog.
I agree with that. I also agree that, like, in those who, if we had to pick, because there are a lot of Jada, or there are a lot of Jay-Z and Beans verses that are great. There are also a fair amount of, like, Beans and Freeway stuff. And now, even then, I think in the conversation when you're talking about music, like, even if we just had to do duos, it's not too many people. I don't even think it's anybody that we could really put up against them, right?
Maybe Royce and M.
Okay, Royce and M. Okay, you could do that. Then we did, because I think we ran through this a little bit too, right? Like, we ran through, like, all right, so Lil Brother, like, where did you get? Okay, we're not gonna get that. You're not gonna get Fonte and Pooh versus Jada and Styles. We're not gonna ever get that. So, like, I can't even really even. Yeah, Black Star. We not about to get that. We not gonna get any of that.
Let's do that real quick, because you said you tagged me on that one, and I did mean to get back at you on that one. Moses' whole rant about, like, fans needing to shut the fuck up and stop asking when the when the Black Star album is coming, when he says it's coming, when he feels like it's coming, is his art. He gets to determine when to put it out, if the situation is right, if the money is right, or whatever situation is right. He shouldn't have any pressure to deliver a product to you where he would feel like he would sacrifice, what he wants for his art, just to appease fans. And I rock with it. I get it. Like, yeah, you put the time in. Yeah, I wasn't with you in the gym. Like, you put the time in making them songs, and you shouldn't have to release them for less than what you think they're worth just because people keep bothering you about it. But I want that. I want that fucking out. And I keep hearing about it, and everybody's like, all the celebrities that listen to it is like, it's dope. Questlove said he damn near shed a tear. Like, you can't tell me you heard some shit that made you shed a tear, and I can't hear it too.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, Kanye West has prepped us for this type of thing, right? Where he keeps teasing us with an album that we know exists, but other people have heard. So yeah, like, that's all right. So my thing is, from a person who makes content in my free time and as a living, right? Like, I have to do this for my job. We create stuff and put it out for the public to consume. I said this thing very early on when I first started making a podcast. It started kind of like taking a deeper look into what content feels like. Now, normally when you upload your show, everybody says either two things. Either it feels good, right? or you're nervous each time because you're like, oh, I made this thing in the comfort of my home. It was just me talking. It was just me making music. It was just me doing whatever. And then you upload it to YouTube, SoundCloud, wherever you upload your thing to, right? And so anytime I made a show or anytime I helped work on a show or a project or something like that, whenever you release it, it should feel like the way it feels for anybody who's played a sport and you know you're about to score, right? So for me, it's like basketball. So it's like the moment you put your hand up and the ball leaves your fingertips and you're like, oh, that's good. I don't even got to look. Like it's the way Steph Curry shoots. Like just it left my hand, we're good. Yeah. That's the way I feel about, and most content creators feel about when you're releasing your projects or you're releasing your work. The thing for me though is what I got from most rant was, I'd rather give it to you and I know that it's good opposed to you being like, just give it to me as is.
Yeah.
And the other thing is too, and I think a lot about that, especially when it comes to podcasting, is like, at some point you came here, somebody told you that consistency will work. You will get a sponsorship. You will get this thing. You will do whatever. Something will happen to you if you keep showing up every week or however the cadence is that you release your show. And then at some point, even me, and then I know we've had these conversations of like, at what point do you, like, how do you know if your show is good or not? Like, right? Because it's like, you ask for reviews, you ask for feedback, this, that, and the third. But like, if you just keep making the same thing and just know whatever, and we live in this like microwave society where people just want to consume the thing just to say they consumed it. Yeah. It's not, they won't tell you if it's good or not. They want to tear it down right away. And I think that was the thing, like, I wish we could have a situation where we played the Andre 3000 interview with Rick Rubin, the most comment kind of like back to back in that space of being like Andre 3000 saying, yo, I want to get back to making music, but I'm so afraid to release it because all y'all going to do is tear it down. I'm so like in my head that I can't even make it because I just want to make it, but I know like I can't say the words that I used to say, yeah, or express how I truly feel about something because it's, you know, I feel like I got to tap dance around the subject or whatever. And it's not that I don't think in the verses that I've heard from Andre 3000 as of recently that it's not. I guess it depends on who you ask. Let me say that before I say like, oh, he's not saying anything offensive, because there is a fair amount of like, he doesn't like surgery bodies, right? Like modified bodies. So that's his thing, being like, oh, I would prefer women don't touch their bodies, that kind of thing. But just in making content, somebody has to know what good and what bad is. And I feel like that's really what he was saying. It was more or less about like, yeah, this album exists and we've been working on it, but like, yeah, like you said, everything's got to be right and it has to be good. Yeah. Just for you to go through your nostalgic purposes to be like, oh, another Black Star album came out, we waited so long for it. You're gonna listen to it. I've seen albums get released at midnight, 12:15. Somebody's telling me that's a classic.
I'm guilty of that.
Yeah, or like, yeah, right, or like somebody played the first. Like I get it if you like the intro is insane. Yeah, I'm with that. This is very key to the album. But yeah, it's the album came out at midnight. 12:45, somebody's being like, this is the worst album. They could have kept this bullshit. And that's the thing, we get so much music now. Like I feel like we get more music now more than ever, where it was like, I forgot who said this. Like, you've never been in a situation where two albums got released in the same day and you only had enough money for one to where you had to be like, you had to finagle the system where like you had to get your homeboy to buy an album he probably wasn't going to buy. Yeah. To be like, hey, look, man.
I remember them days vividly, them release Tuesdays. But yeah, you had decisions to make. Like, I think Jay and Mace dropped on the same day one year, and like I had to back up my argument at school. Like I had been telling everybody Jay-Z was so much better than Mace for so long, and then when the albums dropped, I really wanted that Mace album, but it wasn't no way I could show up to school with the Mace album and not the Jay-Z album. So I had to buy Jay-Z just to back up my arguments. I couldn't walk into school and be like, yeah, I bought that new Mace. I thought you said Jay-Z was the man. Oh, you right. So I remember them days. We don't have that no more. You can get everything at any moment.
Yeah, right, exactly. You just have to like hit a download button. I remember, I don't know how detrimental to this my upbringing is. I was pulled out of school on 9/11, and across from the other school where we were getting my siblings from was a record store. the world is in the middle of panic down. I was like, hey, I heard that Blueprint came out today. I'm just go ahead and get this
slide over
real quick.
Yeah.
I was like, where'd you go? I was like, went to go get a CD real quick. Sorry about that.
Had to make moves.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, we'll be stuck in the house because we don't know what's going on with the world. At least let me play this new Jay-Z. So yeah, it was a very weird time, but yeah, I'm very interested to see like all of these albums that keep getting touched and updated. Like you said, like all these people, all these super celebrities, right? It's not even like corny celebrities, right? It's not like somebody who like did a spot on SNL like back in '95, and then they're just like, "Yo, I heard the Black Star." So you're like, oh, it's like Dave Chappelle and them being like, "Yeah, I was in the house, Questlove and them being like, yeah, no, I was actually just sitting around, and they played me the album, and it's insane." And I'm like, yeah, I want to hear that. I want to be a part of that, but I also don't like. All right, so how do you work through that process? Because I know that you're very much into like, sitting with music, sitting with it, letting it run, breaking down bars, all that other stuff. That's why I think that you're deeper into music than I am. I think I can assess it faster. I think the longevity of music, your take on it is always more in depth than mine. Like for a prime example, like I have to wait for it to die down for me to like listen to albums that people rave for. Like, and I end up forgetting about them. Like I was telling you the other day, like I still have not listened to the new J. Cole album. Like I keep forgetting about it. Like I'm like, because it was so everybody's like, oh, this is the best thing I ever heard. It's the best thing I ever heard. It's not that it's just the best J. Cole album. It's the best rap album this year and in years past. And I'm like, all right, hold on. Like let me take a step back and I'll listen to it in a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I end up forgetting about it.
No, and that's like, I had to work through that the other day. Like, I listened to that J. Cole album, and I love that J. Cole album. And then that hasn't been that long ago, and I can't tell you when the last time I played a song from that J. Cole album. Like, it was the greatest thing in the world for me for like 2 weeks, and then ADD or whatever it is, the microwave popcorn shit kicked in, and it was just on to something else. I think I was listening to the Sky Zoo album and forget all about J. Cole. And it's dope sometimes because I get to go back to albums that I forgot about and listen to them again like this is the first time I ever heard it because I completely forgot that this content existed. But I was listening to what you were saying about content creators and how that ties into this because that's where I am right now. Like I definitely feel like I have to put out content to stay relevant. I think I've watched this show like progress, and then I go through one of my periods, my mental health, periods, and fall off, and then have to rebuild, whatever progress I have made. That's how this year is like my goal is 52 episodes. I'm putting out an episode every week, no matter what, And so there may be some times, I know there have been some times where there's been content for the sake of content. Like I wasn't feeling it. I ain't feel like doing the episode. I don't know if the episode is any good, but I got an episode done. I put it out. And it's there because I feel like I have to do that to stay relevant. I think people in like Most in Talib's position don't have to do that. Like Most is forever going to be Most to the right people. There may be some youngsters who feel like I haven't heard nothing from him, so I don't know how I don't revere him the same way you did. But for most of us, like hip hop heads or whatever, Most is Most. If he never put out another record again, like he is who he is, so he doesn't have that same pressure. To put out content. It's weird hearing those comments from Andre because I feel like he's in the same boat. Like, yeah, we want the content, but your legacy is not tarnished to me in any way by not hearing from you. And the fact that you feel this pressure to like put out something that you think the people would think is good, is I wish he didn't feel that way. Because I really like I make this podcast. I do not work under the delusion that anybody listens to this show. I actually do the exact opposite. I have to make this show like nobody listens to it, and therefore it doesn't matter what I say or what I do, that I can truly be me, because it doesn't matter. Because if I fall into the mindset of I'm making a show for a certain person or for a certain audience, like I'll become something that maybe is not necessarily me, and then if it did pop at that point, I wouldn't know how to sustain it. Like I'd be always in that same like grind to try to figure out what's the next thing to do that they want me to do, you know, rather than just making the content. I feel like the way I'm doing it now, if I do a show that I don't think anybody listens to, if it did pop, I know I can sustain it. I know I can keep doing the same, you know, bullshit that I've been doing, you know, for however long, because I'm just being me. So it hurts my heart. It hurts my heart to hear that Andre doesn't feel like he can just be Andre and the world going to accept him, you know, regardless. Like that he has to like make sure he fits in some acceptable box for everybody. Like I would hate to feel that way as a creator, and I have felt that way, and I'm trying to get out of it and just like fuck it, I do what I want.
Yeah, and I think that's extremely tough, right? Like you said, as somebody who like makes things and releases them, right? Like the moment, and I think that's also a fair amount of being a content creator or people who make anything for the public to consume is like once you release it, it's not yours anymore. And all you get to do now is back to the whole battle rap thing. Is like all you have is rebuttals, like because everybody's gonna be back to just being like they're gonna tell you how you felt, what was going on, and then you have to be like, no, that's not actually how that happened. That's actually not what's wrong, or this, that, and the third. And I think also being able to spectate, right? Like that's the part. Like when you in, like you said, when you're in it, when you're making the content, you probably don't. There's one part, right? Like I think you and I, we've had this conversation where you're just like, yeah, I'm so busy making the content and doing what it takes to make the show be great that I have not paid attention to what's going on social media, whether it be reviews for the show or just in general. I'm doing my thing, so I'm in it, so it doesn't matter. And I get it too. Like if I was Andre and I was making that stuff and we was touring and we was doing everything we had to do to make the music and put music out, if I heard something from somebody, it probably wasn't real time. Like I'm walking around on a day off type situation, like just like, you know, like elevators or whatever, right? Walking through the mall, somebody said something to me. Boom. All right, cool. Now the situation of where I don't make music anymore, I don't make it as much. I can watch other people who I deem are great make music and then watch them get torn down in real time and be like, wait, this person worked for a year on this and y'all listened for 38 minutes and was like, I don't like it.
It's trash. And they don't go to the I don't like it. They go to it's trash.
Yeah, it's
garbage.
Stupid.
Why would you ever, you know?
Yeah, and that's the part where you're like, okay, cool. So right, you have to either be super defensive, right, or you have to defend your thing while you're making it, much like Most was doing, like to this point of being like, yo, I know y'all want this. I'm not keeping it from y'all. The thing about it is, it doesn't feel right to me. It doesn't feel like it's whatever. Whether we don't have the right production, whether we don't have the right guests on here, whether it's the theme isn't right, we just been doing whatever. Because if they work the way I think they work, they're not doing typical rap shit. Yeah. Right, where they're just going in the studio, I spit a verse, you hear it, maybe you go spit a verse, we sit on it. It's the everything that was on the first one. Do we still feel that way? Do we have another brown skinned lady in the tuck? do we have another like this thing, or do I feel the same way? Or is Most still like I still feel the same way about mathematics, even though a lot of that stuff still rings true to right now? Like, yeah, what's some evergreen content that we can make right now? Because that's something that I think if they do drop it, we're definitely not getting a third one. Like if they put it out there, it's like, this is it. It's going to be evergreen content about the world and something that you can go back. Like you said, something you can go back and be like, yo, I'm going to go play that Black Star again. Because I know the first one is like that. Yeah. I could go back right now and be like, I enjoy this.
Yeah. Now I might do that as soon as we finish this.
Right.
Like, have you heard Talib talk about like how they do record? Like he's like he gotta catch Most wherever he is. Like he just gotta end up in the same city that Most is in, like be in the same hotel, have the engineer in the same hotel, like next door, and just catch him and be like, oh, you know, just wait for Most to be like, man, you know, that would make for a good song. He's like, bet, because I got the engineer next door. We can do this right now. Like he gotta just grab
100%. Yeah. I feel like that's how they have to work. I feel like Most and Andre 3000 probably are the same way. Like you have to stop them and be like, hey, you got time, because that's the way I felt. Somebody had asked them, I don't remember who it was. It might have been Travis Scott. Andre 3000 was on something. They flew him in, come to the studio, drop a verse. Yeah. He was basically like on his Lauryn Hill, like, I ain't really in the zone right now. they like, what do you need? He like, oh, just give me some time. And they was like, they waited 3 days for that man. They put him in a really nice hotel. And then he was like, hey, I want to go home.
Yeah.
And it was like, he has not given us a verse. We've been giving him whatever he want, and he went home. And then they said still like 2 weeks after he went home, then he just like emailed a verse, like, and it was one of the best verses they had ever heard. Like, this is insane. This dude is killing this record. And it's a quick 16, and then that's it. And they're like, but it took like almost 3 weeks to get it done. And it was a whole, like you said, like it's a vibe check kind of situation. Like, oh, that would be dope. We could do that. Yes, we need to do it right now while it's on your mind.
Yeah. No, it's crazy because I just had somebody recently ask me to help them out with their intro music for their new podcast. So I got a homie that's going to be dropping a podcast soon, so be on the lookout for that. And I'm going to be doing the intro music for him. And he hit me. He was like, "Man, you want to get paid for some of them bars or whatever?" And I was like, what is it that you need? What you need?" And he hit me with the idea of making the intro music. And my response to him was, "Let me do it for free, so it don't feel like work." Like, because the moment it was, he's gonna pay me this amount to do this, and I gotta have it by this day. Like, I'd have never got it done. Once the pressure was off, and it was just something I was doing for fun for a homie. Like, I got it written, that day. Like, I was sending them bars that afternoon. Like, does this fit the vibe that you want to do? Like, I can get that. Like, it can't be work for me. And that's again goes back to like this podcast. Like, it's got to be something I just do where I'm just being me, where I'm just talking. The moment I fall into the, what do the people want to hear, or what should I talk about, or what should I not talk about, or what should I not say? Like, I'm scared of that, because if the show blew up on those terms, then I would always be in that box of trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do and what I'm supposed to say, rather than just, making content, because that's what I enjoy doing. So, I don't know. It's dope, and it sucks that people that you look up to artistically, are going through those same struggles, because you would hope that one day you just so dope that whatever. Like, I know I can come in there and breathe on the track, and y'all gonna love it. I want that Kanye confidence. Like, I could put out a blank album and tell y'all to imagine the music, and it'd be a classic. Like, I want that.
Yeah, he did give us that scoopity poop song.
Scoopity poop, like, yeah, I want to be as fucked up as that was, and as much as I hate him for it. Like, I want to be that fucking confident. I'm like, man, it's scoopity poop. Yeah, nigga, it's a classic.
Yeah,
that shit.
we go play it out. Like, no, that's real.
But yeah, man. So I got a buddy coming out with a new podcast, and I'm gonna do the intro music on that. I think I'm gonna redo my intro music. I might actually do some bars on that one. I'm feeling artistic these days. People keep asking me if people who knew I rapped and like listened to the music I used to make back in the day, like, man, you need to do something. You need to show these kids, or you need to bring hip hop back or whatever. Like, first of all, you think way too highly of me. Second of all, if you put that on me, it is never getting done. Like, if I make an album, it's got to be just, I ain't had shit to do. I was super inspired, and all the right people was around me at the moment, and we just crank something out. The moment it becomes work or something I'm supposed to do, or I gotta save the world with this album, nah, bro, it ain't happening.
Yeah, no, yeah. And I think you should make it where like the music is fun, right? Like, it's fun for you. So yeah.
Well, all right, man. I appreciate the conversation. I think this has been a good one. Breaking down some hip hop stuff. Like I said, I feel like the world needed some perspective, or just needed to hear some people have fun with this. Like, nothing is ever that serious, and I hope Royce and Lupe are good. Ain't gonna be no bloodshed from this one.
No.
Hopefully, nobody in Detroit or Chicago is getting too amped about this. But
no.
But yeah, man, I'm gonna let you get out of here, man. You got anything you want to share with the folks?
Listen, people, I appreciate y'all. We have heard the rumblings for bringing Saturday Series back. We want to bring Saturday Series back, but Saturday Series, as it is a podcast, it's a story-driven podcast. So what that means is people have to submit their stories for the podcast to live. We got a couple episodes, but not enough to make a season. So I'm gonna use this. This is like we use this like a pledge drive episode. where it could be like, if you're out there and you had a wild experience as a child or a teen or your college years, or even now as a parent, tell us. Come go to Sat Series Pod on Twitter and get all the info that you need there. And outside of that, man, no, keep doing what y'all doing. I love What Is TWS. I just, believe it or not, before this, I know that y'all can't see this. I had on a What Is TWS t-shirt, and then I went outside to go get groceries, and it poured down rain on me. So I had to switch shirts. But I was like, oh snap, yeah, this is a great timing. Oh, it's raining. But yes, go buy merch. Go buy your What Is TWS merch. I need some more myself. The streets need it. And that's it, man.
Well, nah, I appreciate you, man. Yeah, I'm trying to push these shirts. WhatIsTWS.com. It's still the summer of the algorithm, so coupon code algorithm will get you 20% off your entire order. As usual, I plug my homies. Zaya Fitness, I almost forgot it. Zaya Fitness on Instagram. If you're looking to get your nutrition or your fitness goals going, hit up my man Zaya Fitness, ZAYAH Fitness on Instagram. He can get you where you need to be. TTcharities.org, looking for ways to be impactful, looking for ways to clean up, these cities as Lupe and Royce have both alluded to. TT Charities is a great place to start. They always got something going on. Donate what you can, time, money, books, clothes, a like, a repost, a retweet. It all goes a long way. And I also wanted to mention, if you go on my social media, you'll see posts from me, several over the last year plus, from a homie of mine who his kids are missing. His 2 little girls have been missing for more than 500 days. So yeah, check it out. I think it's Sky and man, for some reason I'm drawing a blank on the other little girl's name, but you'll see the post on my social media. If you have any information, please reach out to authorities. Help connect the father with his children. 500 days, I can't imagine what that must be like. So thoughts and prayers, all the positive vibes I can send go out to you. But yeah, with that said, until we speak again, be safe, be easy, be the light. And I love y'all. I think this is going to be my reoccurring, ending music. So, what up? Peace. Love y'all.
Last call for alcohol. Yeah. If this is it, if this is the last joint, if this is the last hurrah, it's the last call for alcohol, baby. I gotta say, whether you knew it or not, it's pretty much at the finest bar establishment, the finest spirits and libations y'all could have had, baby. You might realize it now, you might have realized it back then. You might realize it later. Love.